Imagine waking up one morning and noticing that something feels different. You look outside, and instead of bright sunlight pouring through your window, there is only darkness. The sun, the star that has sustained life on Earth for billions of years, is gone. Not hidden behind clouds, not eclipsed by the moon, but completely gone. No light, no warmth, just an empty patch of black where it used to be. What would happen next? How long would we survive? And what would become of Earth without its star? To answer those questions, we need to think step by step. Let's start with the very first moments after the sun disappears. If the sun were to vanish instantly, the first thing we would notice is the darkness. But here's the strange part. Earth is about 150 million kilometers away from the sun, and light takes about 8 minutes to travel that distance. That means, for about 8 minutes after the sun's disappearance, we wouldn't even realize it was gone. The sky would look normal. The sun would still shine. Then, suddenly, it would blink out of existence, and everything would be plunged into night. At the same time, gravity would change too. The sun's mass is what holds Earth and the other planets in orbit. If the sun disappeared, its gravitational pull would vanish with it. But just like light, gravity also travels at the speed of light. That means for 8 minutes, Earth would continue moving as if nothing happened. Then, at the same instant that the sunlight disappeared, Earth would also fly free, moving in a straight line through space instead of orbiting around the missing star. From that moment on, our planet would drift through the galaxy like a runaway ship with no captain. Now let's think about the first 24 hours without the sun. When the light disappears, the world would be plunged into total darkness. Day would vanish instantly. The only light would come from stars and the moon, which would quickly fade without the sun's reflection. Nighttime would fall everywhere, at once. Imagine every city on Earth lit only by artificial lights, with the sky as black as the deepest night. For a few hours, maybe even a day, life would continue. Power plants would keep running, food would still be on the shelves, and people would rely on flashlights and electricity to see. But the psychological shock would be enormous. Humans have never known a world without the sun. Within days, the temperature on Earth would start to fall. The average surface temperature of Earth is about 15 degrees Celsius. Without the sun's warmth, that would drop rapidly. Within a week, the temperature could fall close to zero. Within a year, the average global temperature would sink to about -73 degrees Celsius. The oceans would begin to freeze from the top down. First, ice would form on the surface, but the deeper layers would remain liquid for a time, insulated by the ice above and warmed by heat from Earth's core. Life near the surface would struggle, but in the depths of the ocean, around hydrothermal vents, life might continue for millions of years. Plants, of course, would be among the first to suffer. Without sunlight, photosynthesis would stop almost immediately. Within days, crops would wither. Within weeks, forests would begin to die. The collapse of plant life would trigger a chain reaction. Herbivores would starve, followed by carnivores. Humanity, too, would face starvation as food supplies dwindled. Artificial farming with artificial light might continue for a while, but on a planetary scale, it would be impossible to sustain billions of people. Within months, the oceans would freeze over almost entirely. The atmosphere would grow colder and denser, eventually freezing to the surface as well. Nitrogen and oxygen would become solid, falling as snow onto the ground. Earth would become a frozen, airless world, not much different from Pluto. Only a few pockets of warmth would remain. Geothermal energy from volcanoes and vents could keep tiny areas habitable. Perhaps a few underground cities near geothermal hotspots could survive, but humanity as we know it would be doomed. But let's think beyond survival. What would Earth's journey through the galaxy look like without the sun? Once freed from its orbit, Earth would travel in a straight line at its orbital speed, about 30 kilometers per second. It would drift endlessly through interstellar space. Occasionally, it might pass near another star, but the odds of being captured into a new orbit are tiny. Earth would be a rogue planet, wandering forever in the dark. This raises another question. Could any form of life survive long-term without the sun? Surprisingly, The answer is yes, at least for some forms. Deep in the oceans, around hydrothermal vents, life exists that does not depend on sunlight at all. These ecosystems thrive on chemosynthesis, using heat and chemicals from the Earth's interior. Even if the surface of the Earth froze solid, these deep ocean creatures could go on living, perhaps for millions or even billions of years. Microbes underground might also survive, feeding on geothermal energy. So while the disappearance of the sun would be catastrophic for most life, it might not wipe out life entirely. Another source of energy that could help, at least temporarily, is nuclear power. Humanity could build underground bunkers powered by nuclear reactors, producing light, heat, and food artificially. Perhaps small groups of humans could survive for decades or even centuries this way. But eventually, resources would run out, and without sunlight, Earth would never be able to sustain civilization at the scale we know. Now let's stretch our imagination further. What would happen to the solar system itself? Without the sun, every planet would fly off into space. Mercury and Venus would be the first to drift away, followed by Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. The asteroids, comets, and dwarf planets would also scatter into the galaxy. The entire solar system would unravel in just minutes. The planets would continue moving in straight lines, never to return. For billions of years, they would wander the galaxy as rogue planets, perhaps passing close to other stars, perhaps colliding with other systems, or perhaps drifting forever in the cold void. It's worth asking, could humanity survive if we had warning? Suppose scientists somehow knew that the sun would vanish in 100 years. What could we do? Perhaps we could build giant space habitats powered by nuclear fusion, or attempt to migrate to another star system. But the nearest star, Proxima Centauri, is over 4 light-years away. With current technology, it would take tens of thousands of years to get there. Humanity would need to make incredible technological leaps just to have a chance. Without them, survival would be nearly impossible. The disappearance of the sun is, of course, not a real possibility. Stars don't just vanish. Our sun is about halfway through its 10 billion-year life. Billions of years from now, it will expand into a red giant, eventually engulfing Mercury and Venus, and possibly Earth. After that, it will shrink into a white dwarf, slowly cooling over trillions of years. That is the real fate of the sun, not sudden disappearance, but a long, drawn-out death. Still, imagining what would happen if the sun simply vanished gives us perspective. It shows us how utterly dependent we are on our star. Every second of every day, the sun's light and heat sustain all life on Earth. Without it, our world would quickly become unrecognizable. So what would happen if the sun disappeared? At first, nothing would seem different. For 8 minutes, light would still shine and gravity would still hold us in orbit. Then, in a single moment, both would vanish. Earth would be plunged into darkness and set adrift through space. Within days, temperatures would plummet. Within months, the oceans would freeze. Within years, the atmosphere would collapse. Humanity would cling to survival underground, but our chances would be slim. Life in the deep oceans might endure, but Earth would become a frozen, wandering world. In the end, the thought of losing the sun reminds us of just how fragile and precious our place in the universe is. Our star is not just another point of light in the sky. It is the source of everything we know. It warms us, feeds us, and holds us together. Without it, there is no life. And so the next time you step outside and feel the warmth of sunlight on your face, remember just how vital, how miraculous, and how rare that warmth truly is. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more space mysteries and science facts. What do you think about today's topic? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. Until next time, keep looking up. The universe is full of wonders.